Welcome to the Sleepy G Show. I'm your host with your most. My name is Gomez, and tonight I don't have one, but technically two special guests. I have a repeater, Brandie from Alpha Fit Club over in Basking Ridge, if I said that right correctly, and the significant other, the man with the nice beard over here, Luke. What's going on, guys? How are you?
I'm feeling blessed, man. I'm feeling really, really good. Glad to be here. Thanks for having us.
I appreciate you coming on, and as Brandie was on our last episode not too long ago, which kicked major ass, as I would say. Um, Not to worry. I will say this: if you do curse, don't worry about it. It does happen on this show, so don't. It's unedited and it's unraw, as you can see some of my last
Love it.
episodes.
I think I
Um,
did
yeah,
it.
and that's okay. But that's the part of what I love, what I do. And we had Brandie. We talked a little bit about some stuff, and she mentioned your name, and she actually mentioned something to me today, and I like to say, even though this recording might be like 2-3 weeks later, but I want to say congratulations on something that's very huge accomplishment, and that's 1 year tomorrow,
Yes.
September 20th. Let's get it
Yes.
right, folks, in case no one knows the
Yes.
date. You are 1 year sober, man.
Yes.
How
One
do
year
you?
clean, sober, drugs, alcohol, the whole nine. Just gave it all up.
And that's like a blessing. Now, that's the thing I want to get into is like you said, you gave it up. Now, what was your choice? I mean, was it alcohol? Was it drugs more? Like,
I was a hardcore stimulant addict. Cocaine was my true love for a long time, but it was any stimulant, methamphetamine, Adderall. At the worst of my addiction this time last year, I had a $700 a day cocaine habit.
whoa,
Yeah, it was fucking brutal. It was awful.
holy shit.
Yeah, yeah, it was rough.
700? I can't, dude, I got a wife and two kids. I don't even see a 50 anymore.
Yeah, it was really rough, and I was that money that money was not mine to support that habit. I got it in various different ways, but yeah, I had to support my habit anyway I could possible. But that's where a year ago today, that's where I was.
Wow. I mean, Luke, cocaine. Holy. Okay, so I'm gonna say this one. This is the first time ever someone's admitted on my show. We're 40 some odd episodes in and saying my preferred choice was Coke.
Yeah,
So how long were you on this addiction for? I know you said it's quite some time, but I'm kind of curious how long have you been like that?
I just turned 30 years old this past May. I would say I have battled substances for I when I tell my story, I say I battled substances for a decade.
Mhm.
I have had a significant problem with substances for probably 7 years.
Wow.
So like the first like 3 years out the gate, it was like partying was fun. It wasn't problematic to my lifestyle.
Mhm.
Um I was just the typical early 20s. Like I went to Hofstra University. I was a competitive cheerleader for 12 years also. I'll get into that for a little bit, but
All right.
but I went to college for a little bit, so I did my college partying. I left college pretty quickly. Just wasn't for me. Did various other things, but just got into the partying scene very fast, very hard.
So it's kind of funny. Like I had an addict. Not I wouldn't say addict. I had a drinking problem
Okay.
for quite some time, and I'll admit to that 100%. I lost my dad at a young. Well, I wouldn't say a young age. I was 21 when my dad passed away, and
Damn.
that's when my partying days were supposed to happen.
Sure.
Well, I took my partying days and took it to a whole new level of drinking every day.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody who's hearing this knows me pretty well, used to go to a local bar or the watering hole, whatever you want to call it these days. And I used to get the pint glasses of just Jack and Coke.
Yeah.
And I would have 8, 10, 12 of those plus shots and drive home.
Yeah. Oh, dude, me too.
And I mean, I was bombed out of my ass.
Yep.
And
I hate admitting it, but that was me too.
I willfully admit it, man. If it wasn't, I gotta say this, if it wasn't for my wife not meeting her, I don't know if I'm doing this with you today.
Oh yeah.
And my wife was a big part. Now these days, as a 43, so you know, well, I've been with her for at least 10 years now. So,
Yeah.
it just shows like 10 years of now I sip here, sip there, nothing major, but
Sure.
but it's amazing that you overcome that. Now, you had the cocaine habit for for many years, 7 years, and you just said it was a $700 day addiction, which
Yeah.
I'm mind blowing on that.
Yeah.
Now, my question is this to you, if you don't mind me asking.
No, anything.
I mean, were you in trouble with the law at any time for, say, B&E or receiving stolen property or something like
No.
that?
So actually what I wound up doing was I called myself a bullet dodger through my entire drug story, that whole part of my life. I just feel like I despite the circumstances, it could have been so much worse. I never got a DUI. I never went to jail, any of that stuff. But what I wound up doing was I would link credit cards to a Venmo account and I would Venmo my drug dealer. So
Holy,
like
high tech.
14 grand, max out a card onto the next one. Just yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So, I mean, yeah, I guess I could see that now with the high tech of iPhones and
That was
Samsung
time
phones.
period we were in.
Yeah, it still is a time period. I mean, it's kind of funny. I think that's the first time I've ever heard anybody told me they Venmoed their drug dealer. So this is new for me on that note, but
Yeah.
that's hard because I see you and I see Brandie right next to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I see all the pictures that she's posted. I see you guys, and I'm going, wow. And when she told me that, I'm like, wait a minute, he had a problem.
Yeah, man. We just drug addicts turn their lives around. Alcoholics turn their life around. We when we're using, we blend into society. When we get back on our feet, we blend into society. We're kind of chameleons, but like you would never know now.
Now I know you were now at the time with Brandie. You guys have been together for quite some time now, so
Yeah.
she's been there where your highest points and your lowest points.
So she has been there through some very, very tough times. So I have an ex-girlfriend. We have a 7-month-old together.
Okay.
And I royally destroyed that relationship by my use. She saw me at my lowest point through that. And that was very, very hard to come back from on my end.
Mm-hmm.
So I winded up leaving that relationship and it just didn't work out. It was kind of toxic. It was controlling. But for the better, I needed to take care of myself. Right. I'm still there for my son. We're working out some good co-parenting situations and we're tackling that on that front. But Brandie coming into my life was one of the best blessings I was ever given, because she definitely saw me through that transitional period. Because when I met her, I had nothing to offer. I was in early sobriety. I was just started actually, yeah, I just started working part-time at the gym, and I barely had 2 nickels to rub together at the time. I was literally just coming out of the trenches still and just trying to get my bearings back. Yeah.
Now, I mean, that's deep because, for me and, for me hearing this, you hear these stories, in documentaries, but here we're talking about it live tonight, and not live, but recording it tonight. But it's amazing, because I look at you and I see Brandie right there next to you, and I see happiness, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the fact that you had a past relationship with your ex and, you destroyed it, you understand it, and you're living up to still being there for your son, which is very commendable, because a lot of people, mommy maybe can't do it, you know what I mean? And you're doing it.
Yeah.
And, dude, I don't know how to say that, but I commend you, man. You're another inspirational story for me, because, here you hit that low point in your life, and now look at you, you're celebrating 1 year.
Celebrating.
Which is huge. It's a huge accomplishment, man. Let me tell you. I can't say how proud this is the first time I'm meeting you tonight.
Yeah.
But to say this, man, I'm so proud of you, bro.
Thanks, man. I really do.
It's really a true inspiration for people,
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny. My buddy Kevin, he fell in the addiction because of pains. He broke his back. And he's coming back on soon again. Actually, he's going to talk about his rehab stint too. So,
I would love to jump on with that.
You know what? Maybe, what we're going to do? Maybe I'm going to actually plan it where maybe we'll have both of you guys on the same time.
Dude, I would love that.
And it'd be really cool because I think you guys, it would be a great connection. You know what I
Sure.
mean? And for me, I don't care about ratings. I care about people. That's what I
Yeah.
love, and that's where I come from. Is hearing this because, again, Luke, you should see you as you can see my face. I'm still still mind blown.
Yeah.
Like, wow. And now I look at you guys. You guys got a house now together, or a nice
Yeah.
new apartment. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Things are going well.
We got a new dog.
Yes, I saw the picture
Yeah,
of the
we got
new dog.
up. Yeah, life is it's crazy what when you put those drugs down and you stay long enough and you build yourself up a good network and you find yourself a sponsor and you do all the things you're supposed to do. You get to witness that change, and like it comes in different increments, right? Like you get your sanity back. You just keep like cashing in on like these just small achievements, and like I have a life beyond my wildest dreams now, and it's only going to continue to get better.
Oh, without a doubt. Now I have to ask this: how hard was it to say no now to coke, the drugs? Oh, well, mostly coke, like you said.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
hard was it? I want to say ask the first couple months since you went to go for sobriety. How hard was it for you?
So coke is not a physically like withdrawing demanding drug. Like
Okay.
you don't go through physical withdrawal like you would see in like heroin, opiate, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's mentally draining. Like um just your mental state gets like completely, that's where like you hit your rock bottom.
Mhm.
Your all your endorphins, your dopamine, like everything that makes you happy just gets depleted. You're at like the worst depression of your life. And that's like the toughest part to come back from. And they say that like through like the recovery process, like a hardcore cocaine addict, it can take your brain a full year to rewire itself. And um I'm starting to see stuff like that and feel stuff like that. Like
Mhm.
my thinking is getting clearer still to this day, but yeah, it's but not picking it up. Um it's really strange actually, because like this last year,
Mhm.
I was fortunate enough for the first 6 months of my sobriety, I was able to get myself out of work. I doubled down on recovery and I went to a meeting every day. I did something, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. It's called a 90 and 90. You do 90 meetings in 90 days straight. You
I've
just like
heard of it.
yeah, you just jumpstart your recovery with that. But I was fortunate enough to be financially supported to be able to like I did an outpatient program,
Okay.
didn't work, and just dialed in on meetings and got myself a great sponsor who is still my sponsor now. He's the father figure in my life right now. He's just amazing. He's a blessing. But I didn't have a lot of experiences where I think I've had like three really like gut wrenching, like I almost like threw my sobriety away again, like
Mhm.
experiences where um, I picked up drugs again. And one was 2 weeks into like 14 days into being sober. I was at a meeting and I just random, overwhelming feeling, text your drug dealer. And I did something for the first time that I've never done before. And it was when I texted my drug dealer, I was on my way there already. Like it was
Right.
happening, set in stone. But this was me. I was at an AA meeting on a Tuesday. I texted my drug dealer and I said, I'm going to come meet you on Friday. It's like I gave myself this 3-day window to like change my mind,
Mhm.
to like make the right decision. And like I said, I was in this outpatient program, and the next day I went there to group, and this is what this disease does. It tells you you don't have a disease. It
Right.
tells you to, it doesn't let your mouth open up to ask for help. It doesn't
Mhm.
tell you to do the right thing. It's like the devil on your shoulder telling you to do that thing. And I had to like fight it and fight it and fight it. And I was sitting in this group and I finally raised my hand and I was like, I have plans to go pick up. If I didn't say this, I was gonna go use. And like I broke down crying. My like best friend in that program like gave me like a huge hug. He's like, dude, you raised your hand, you talked about it, like you put it out in the air, you made it real.
Yeah.
And and then I didn't have like another real urge until like probably like this past month, and then like a week ago. And I kind of blame that on like I'm coming up on my year, and
Mhm.
like the most vivid ingrained memories I have of using are like from the week prior to getting sober, because
Mhm.
I know exactly what those nights entailed leading up to getting sober. It was the reason I had to like throw in the towel. So
and and here you are a year later, man, that you haven't and do. If
yeah,
anybody besides Brandie and myself, man, we're very proud of you, and I know that your family's
yeah,
backing you up. So I mean,
I got a good team.
you do, and that's the best thing, man, to have not just good family, but perfect example of Brandie right there next to you, a great girlfriend, or in my case, a great wife upstairs. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? That will support you in any ways you can.
yeah,
That's hard to hear, man, because it's kind of funny with Kevin too, my buddy. He OD'd once or
yeah,
twice, and that's hard to hear because I've known this guy since grammar school days. We
yeah,
played, and I never knew he had Crohn's. I didn't know he had I didn't know a lot of stuff, and
sure.
he hit it so well for so many years.
We're so good at it.
Yeah,
So good.
and I never knew because again I was a friend, but I wish I knew. I would have been there to help him too. You know what I mean? But it's hard
Yeah.
because you just don't know who you could trust. You don't know if this guy's gonna screw you in a way.
You don't know if he even wants the help. Most of the time, we don't want, like, until we're ready, we don't want the help. We'll
Yeah.
act like it, but we don't want help. We want to keep doing our thing.
So a year ago, you decided to get clean. What made you decide to do that?
So, and I think this is why. So, leading up to this time getting sober, I've been trying to get sober for years.
Okay.
I get a month, 3 months. My popular stint is like in between like this 5 and 7 month period, and I go back out and I use again. And a lot of those times before that were my parents telling me like, listen, like you got to get help if you like want to live here, you got to get clean. And
Mm,
like I've been kicked out of my dad's house, I've been kicked out of my mom's house, I've been like had like the car taken, like everything like that you can think of. Like if you want to keep your car, you got to get help. If you
mm,
want to do this, you got to get help. Blah blah blah. And people will always say like, if an addict gets help for any other reason than him wanting or her wanting to get help, they're not going to get the help they need. And this past time getting sober, like cocaine is a social drug. You do it at
mm,
parties, you socialize. This last go around, I was doing like 2 8 balls a day, and I was like by myself in my my ex's house, and like she'd go to bed, and I would just stay up all night. I'd just do a massive amount of coke. I'd creep around the house like a fucking psychopath, and it was sad. That's the only word I could describe it as. It was sad. And I finally hit a point, and it's like 4 in the morning. I'm out of drugs, and I go in the bathroom and I look at myself and I'm like, yo, if you don't get help, you're gonna die. And cocaine is a slow, awful death. Like, or it's
mm.
just like you just do it one time and your heart just gives up. But I was doing a lot. So like I was like afraid like it was gonna like I was gonna roll those dice and it was just gonna happen.
Right, and you never know if you get some bad crap either.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
of course. And that's the other thing. Fentanyl is going in drugs like cocaine, which has no business being together, but like I hear like that's taking out kids that are trying coke for the first time and they're
Mhm.
dying. Yeah, dude, it's heartbreaking stuff.
It is. I mean, when you look at me, I like I said, I have two kids now, and you know, my parents never had to worry about me because I never touched. The only thing I would say I touched was marijuana.
Sure.
Everyone has done it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
never do it again. You know what I mean? I was young, I was
Sure.
stupid.
Yeah.
Everyone, it was the testing phase. Have I been offered cocaine? Yes. Did I say no? Yes, I did because I wasn't shoving things up my nose. I don't, I've heard of the rumors, the stories of people. I've seen the movies. Like,
Yeah.
when you look at the movie Less Than Zero with Robert Downey Jr., which he had a real
He was a
coke
real
problem.
coke addict.
He was really, I mean, he didn't have to
Yeah.
act in that part, but that's
Nah.
when he started probably.
Yeah. He
You
was
know,
a real
that's
coke addict.
he
Hardcore.
was he was hardcore when you think about it. So was
Yeah.
his dad.
100%.
You know what I mean? You went from dad to son, but here you go. The
Yeah.
perfect example. Robert Downey Jr. fell hard, jail timed.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how many times that man's been to jail.
Yeah, man.
And now look at him now.
Success story.
Success story, just like
180
you are.
turnaround.
And
Yep.
that's what you're doing, man. And that's why I say, we got to praise you on that because you're doing the 180. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter how long it takes you, but
Yeah.
as long as you got that support team, and I'll be there to support you too, man.
Oh, I appreciate it, brother. No, absolutely. I take all the help I can get. I'm like, I know, but and like, I'm at the point now where I can give it back too. Like, for like people like yourself, like I give it back to you too. Like I'm there for you, just like you're there for me, and that's like kind of what. And I guess that's actually like a good little transitional piece. Is like that's what my goal is with. I don't know if Brandie told you, but we started a clothing company.
I know we did not talk about. We mentioned a
I
little
think when I
that
was on the podcast, it wasn't a thing.
it wasn't a thing yet. So okay, so now we got a clothing company going on now.
Yeah. So this is. I'm actually wearing the shirt now. So it's called Clear Minded Clothing Company.
Okay.
And on the back it says one life with like
Nice.
the old like video game hearts.
Yeah.
The whole premise of this is that you have one life and you have to nurture it, you got to cherish it, you got to take care of it and live it up to the fullest. But I started this because I remember being in sobriety like a couple different like instances, and like I'd be like 3 months in and I'd be like super prideful of it. And like I wanted to like wear something to like describe that. And there was just no like legit good quality. It was all kind of like stupid like clothing companies out there to represent that, but also not like scream it that like it doesn't say like I'm sober across the front.
Right.
But like, so I started this sober lifestyle apparel company that just focuses on just mental positivity, physical positivity, just taking care of yourself, being physical, taking care of yourself in all different aspects, and just showing that like normalizing sobriety, whether you're an addict or just a regular person that just wants to be a healthier person, is like the normal now.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a drug addict or like myself. I'm fighting type 2 diabetes.
Yeah.
And and it's mentally, how mental can you? I wouldn't say mental. I should say how mentally clear can you be to challenge yourself. Like for me, it's the same thing. Like I would go 3 months, 3 or 4 months, clean eating, I'm down, feel great, and then boom, something happens.
Yeah.
And then it's like the best way I always describe it in the movie, if you remember the movie The Replacements with Keanu Reeves.
Yes, of course.
And he says, what's your fear? And it's quicksand.
Yeah.
And this is still a fear of mine, you know what I mean? Because I love food.
Dude,
Food is
me too.
I mean, like these last couple of days, I'm on new medication, which I'm trying to go into a different lifestyle now. And it's more like you said, it's mentally challenging yourself. And it's not easy because, yesterday there's pizza. And I had a chicken salad with like fresh little, shredded mozzarella, croutons. And I'm like, God, that pizza looks so good.
Oh, absolutely.
But did I take a bite? Yeah, but that's it. I couldn't, I don't know. There was something about it. Like I haven't had a regular Coke now in 4 days. That's my vices are Coke. Coca-Cola, by the way, not cocaine. Let's get it right. Just to clarify, it's literally the soda of Coca-Cola and bread.
Okay.
I am
calorie killers.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's
I
hard.
Hear you.
I mean, it's like you said, it's not I don't know, maybe so it could be a drug, these days, just because it's all that caffeine in you. But I've noticed the last 4 or 5 days, I'm not on a caffeine binge. I've noticed my body's like, oh, you're a little sluggish. You're waking up but also
caffeine's a drug. You're gonna feel the withdrawal from it.
Oh my God, it's like if this was crack, I'm on it. It's the best way I could say it. But it's just a horrible thing though. Now that I'm thinking about it, like there was one point my wife and I didn't have a soda.
Yeah.
We were doing so well, and then the kids got sick.
Yeah.
And then we got sick.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny. It's not even funny. It was one day, I'll never forget it. It was right before we went on vacation. Kids got sick with some kind of stomach bug. I think it started with my son. or was it my wife? I can't remember. It went from somebody to me.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, I'm putting my son to bed, and I started coughing like that, that
Yeah.
throw up. And next thing I notice, she gives me a bag, with a paper towel, and I'm just like putting my son to bed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I had my head in the bag throwing up. I felt, and
Body change, man.
yeah, I wasn't sleeping for 2 or 3 days. It was such a bad bug, whatever I had, like you said, like what's
Yep.
happened around recently. And the first thing I wanted was oh, I could go for a large pie, extra cheese and mushroom, or pepperoni, and just see if the stomach is fine. And then I fell back into the bad habits.
Yep.
We went to Wildwood. I was trying to eat somewhat good, but not
Sure.
the healthiest, but
Yeah.
it's hard. You're going to Wildwood. You're not going to say no to a funnel cake. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Fried Oreos, whatever. Yeah. 100%.
God.
I
Gotta
know,
go
right?
for that. Just sounds really good. See, you put me in a chocolate cake factory. I am that fat kid that's going to go in there and eat everything.
I hear you, man. Absolutely.
But that's the thing. It's like you said. It's a mental state, which a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah.
How much challenge you have to challenge yourself and challenge your brain. Yes, today at lunch, I'm like, what the hell am I going to eat? I had a grilled chicken panini yesterday with some mozzarella and portobello mushrooms. It was
There you
great.
go.
It was a nice little sandwich. I ate half of the bread, and the other half I ate with the salad. So I had to eat the sandwich the way it is. And then you're going today at lunch. I'm like, ooh, what could I could go for like a nice slice of pizza, or
Slippery slope.
I have a shop right that has a barbecue, like
Dope.
legit good barbecue, like good pulled pork and good brisket.
Yeah.
And I'm going to myself, ooh, I might have that for lunch today. And then someone brought it like a cheese Danish thing. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. You know what I mean?
Dude, that happened to me at work today too.
It's like I took a piece of cheese Danish, but I took a slither. Like it was this long, but it was like this thin.
And
it's like
you want to immediately go back for more.
Actually, I was really proud of myself. I did not.
Nice.
I did not. I don't know how. Yes, the sweetness in the back of my throat here is like going, yeah, you want more, but you got to fight it. It's like with you know what I mean? Like you're saying,
yeah.
And
no,
go ahead. No. I was like saying in the back of your head, you're saying, I need it.
Yeah, no, it's that they even say it. They say it in like the rooms when like you're getting sober, and it's like you come for. I mean, I was a drug addict, but I go to AA meetings, and the reason being for that is like I have like one drink, a flip switch of like a switch flips in my brain, and I immediately want drugs. So like I navigated towards the AA crowd anyway, but like they have a phrase in the rooms and they say like you come for your drinking, but you stay for your thinking, because putting down the drugs is like the easiest part.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then it's like, but it's changing all your thinking after that, because the drugs and the alcohol aren't like the root of the issue. There's like all these other issues laying dormant underneath the surface, childhood trauma, this and that. And it's like that stuff is the root of all this stuff.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, losing my dad was the hardest part.
Oh my God. I was adopted right out of the hospital at birth, and I had like hardcore abandonment issues. Still do. I have my biggest fear to date is being by myself, is being alone. I can't go to a restaurant, sit by myself and have food. Can't do it. And I think it has to do with like not liking who I am on the inside. And not like, not like fully addressing that. And like, so that's like one of the big things I work on now. And it's just like those underlying issues that you still got to tackle and work on.
Yeah. I mean, I see somebody, I actually do go to a therapist and talk.
Oh, me too. Absolutely.
Because I
think everyone should see a therapist. I don't care if you're a drug addict, alcoholic, I don't care what you're going through. Everyone on earth needs to see a therapist.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is kind of like my therapy too, which,
100%.
Because I get to talk, this is where I get to talk and get to enjoy vent off. We're talking about addictions. We're talking about anxiety. We're talking about now your awesome new clothing line, Clear Minded Clothing Company, which congratulations on that too, starting that up. I'll be honest with you. My therapist said something to me yesterday and it kind of stuck with me. You got a 5-year plan when it comes to the business. All right, I am 9 months into this show. I've done 42 episodes right now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I have live 30 something episodes. I've done my previous show, but my previous show, my buddy did almost all the work where I tagged some stuff and all that stuff. Here, I'm doing everything.
Yeah.
I'm getting the guests. I'm setting up the times.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of hard work. You just don't realize it. Like, I have my own hat. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I have my own little, my own
Jersey.
shirt, jersey.
I need one of those. Those are sick.
If I could, you know what? I want to do something like this. You know what I mean? But
You should get them made. They're sick.
I just custom made this on a website, and I just I had to do it. I had Next Level Customs make me
Nice.
shoot my Sleevey G sneakers, which I have not worn yet. They're so hot. I just don't
Keep
want
them
to
in
wear
the
them.
box. Keep them
Yeah,
in the
keep
box.
in the box. I'm gonna wear them. I said if there's a day I ever get to the VMAs or a huge award ceremony,
Dude, pop them on.
I'm popping them on because that would be the hottest thing on
There
the
you
on the
go.
floor.
Start your stuff down the red carpet.
Exactly. Like, for me, I had Christina Bear on, I had Cara DeFalco, Don Smith, Marissa Brainey. These are all New Jersey local celebrities, which for me, I never thought in my 4th episode I would have Christina Bear on the show.
Yeah.
I never thought I would hang out with Cara DeFalco at a restaurant and talk about food and stuff.
Love
and
it.
and I never thought in my wildest dreams that actually I'm releasing Frank the Tank Fleming from Barstool.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. Really?
Yeah.
That's
I'm
awesome.
I'm releasing him this week. So,
Nice. So sick.
So these things are happening, and it's like you said, it's that I don't know, I guess the euphoria of whatever the happiness.
Yeah.
But on top of it, what's even making me happier too? Besides talking to you guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the love I have for my kids and what the kids have for me.
Oh, it's a blessing.
One thing I didn't realize I was detaching myself a lot from my family. And my wife sat me down and she talked to me. She goes, hey, and I started doing more. Then I'm noticing, okay, we can hang out, we could do this more.
Yeah.
And I was kind of in a rut.
Yeah.
And I'm out of that rut, which is not just creatively, but family wise. And that's something, I'm always afraid of. And, I saw my parents and, once in a while they get in their ruts just like everybody else does. But
sure.
I don't want that. I really want to have fun. Like, man, I mean, the next few weeks we're so busy. We want to go apple picking. Can't even do that.
Oh, yeah.
Because kids, let's see. My daughter's got another birthday coming up. She's got another birthday coming up Sunday. I'm going golfing. It just, we're trying to do so much. And then, unfortunately now my wife is a little under the weather. I hope it's just her allergies.
Yeah.
Because, she's an important part.
Yeah.
And I respect for everything that she has done,
Yeah.
There was one point where I tore my MCL pretty bad. Like I tore it right off everything.
Yeah.
Needed surgery. All I saw, my MRI was shreds of, looked like beef.
Yeah.
And talk about one of my lowest points, can't work, can't drive. They were trying to put me on Oxy and stuff like that. And I said no, because I know what it does to me.
Oh, 100%.
I did it back in high school, football player, injuries, things, you get them from other people, not from school, and I didn't want to do that anymore. And I said, I don't want it. I would be popping Advils like they're M&Ms, but
oh yeah, bro.
But I hit a low point being in the basement, can't do much, can't enjoy my kids, can barely walk. I'm also a 385-pound man too, you know what I mean? So it was difficult.
Yeah.
Like almost like a roly-poly kind of thing, and when my knee surgery happened, and one thing that motivated me was I'm hearing people like, oh, Alex, I don't think you're gonna have a job anymore at at the store. I'm like, what? So when they cleared me for rehab, I went to rehab.
Yeah, dude.
And it was
lit the fire under you.
Yeah, like I needed to, like I worked in the rehab so hard. They'd tell me to take it easy, and I'm like, no. I gotta be back at work before Christmas. I was told I wasn't going back to work.
Yeah.
They're like, you're not going back to work till January. I'm like, no, it ain't happening.
Give me the work, double it. I'm gonna
Yeah,
put it in.
I'll,
Yeah.
I'll do it. And the blessing came when it was 11:24, 11:23. I'm sorry, 11:23.
Mhm.
I got the okay to drive the car. That's my dad's day of death.
Wow.
So for me to get back in the car
Yeah.
that day
Yeah.
meant so much to me.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Realizing the date, realizing the time, and realizing everything that day. I went to therapy that day with a chip on my
Yeah.
shoulder. And until this day, I walk around with a chip. But it's
Nice.
not a bad chip, it's a good chip.
Yeah.
Like, I've been bullied all my life.
Mhm.
To this day, even at 43, bullying
Yeah.
is still around. I will overcome this because why? I am trying to be better.
100%.
Am I trying to yell and get into a fight? No. I'm trying to be me.
Too old for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, and anyway, it's same things with my daughter. I'm like, yeah, you can't fight at school. Don't punch that person because I don't have the money to cover a lawsuit now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's now that's what it is. You smack somebody, you get a lawsuit.
I
It
know.
wasn't it wasn't like in the 90s where I was growing up or the 80s too. You could smack somebody and walk away and call it a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's ridiculous, but
The
that's
world's
a
got
thing.
soft and tattletale and all that stuff.
What's that one saying? Bitches get stitches or stitches get bitches, something like that.
Snitches get
Yeah,
stitches.
stitches, yeah. So
Yeah.
stitches. Oh, that's
But that's the world now, man. It's sad. It's soft. Like you tell a kid to shut up, and like now, like it's becoming kids are becoming more and more suicidal, and it's awful. It's sad. Bullying is like so prominent, and like I couldn't. I like to think of myself as like the bully that bullied bullies.
mhm.
You know what I mean? Like I
Oh
used to
yeah.
like that was the role that I kind of took onto, especially in high school, man. I was friends with um all the kids with like learning disabilities, anything like that, man. Like I stood up for like the underdog.
Oh yeah.
For,
I mean, I would have done the same thing. In grammar school.
oh
But
yeah.
when I got left back, that's where the bullying started happening with the new class. But my old friends would never do it, but the older kids knew.
Yeah.
So it was kind of funny. I had to get thick skin, but also I was one tough SOB back in the day too.
Sure.
I probably still am today, but but I remember always in the boys' bathroom, the guys always waiting to jump me because I was strong, I was the biggest, I was the tallest.
Sure.
Everyone's trying to prove the worth. I remember the one day I came out of there, I bloodied, shirts ripped, ties off. I went to a Catholic school,
Yeah.
so and the teacher goes, "Who won?" I go, "I think I did. I walked out, didn't I?" And they're like,
Better times.
they went in there, sinks broken, toilets gone.
Tornado ripped through it.
Yeah, pretty much. The glass is broken. Like,
Yeah.
they're like, "What the hell did you do?" I go, I don't know. And then I passed out because of the adrenaline. I walked out and I'm like, yeah. And then
Done.
boom,
Yeah.
I face planted. I ain't gonna lie. I
Yeah.
face planted that shit.
Yeah.
And didn't break the nose, but I was feeling it the next day.
I'm sure.
My parents asked me what happened. I said they were picking on me, and I just fought back.
Yeah.
I snapped.
Yeah.
I got tired of being bullied, and I became the bullier.
Yeah.
And then no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I got in the worst fight. I got a 6-inch gash in my head right here.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
I got I was visiting my sister at Penn State, and it was like Greek family weekend.
Oh.
And her sorority, of course, is matched with the fraternity. So we start there, we hang out with them. And this is like I'm pretty heavily involved in my drug addiction at this point. So like I navigate towards this one kid. He's giving me drugs, giving me booze, introducing me to like all like the girls in the house. We're having a great time. And so like I love this kid. Like that's how fast that bond happens. 30 seconds for like best buds.
Right.
And that frat house leaves to go to another frat house. Apparently these two frats hate each other. And then a brawl, like a 50-on-50 frat brawl in like the living room breaks out. And then
oh god,
I'm like, yo, we got to get out of here. So like I walk out the front door. That kid that was showing me love was getting face and rib stomped in by 5 guys.
Oh god.
So I jump in, fight 3 of them, and then as I'm walking away from like the whole situation, I get drop kicked down a set of stairs. And I crack my head on like a massive rock. I go to the hospital. I have to get 16 staples, 26 stitches, get my
Holy
head
sh-
back together. Yeah, dude, it was awful.
I love Brandy's face in the background. She's like, oh my God. She's
Yeah.
like, only me.
Yeah.
I know, but it's funny. It's like saying only me.
Yeah.
I have, it's kind of funny. Like, where before I've done the show, I knew a lot of people growing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny. We go to Atlantic City, me and my wife, weekend getaway.
Yeah.
And I hear, hey, Alex. I go, hey, what's up? And it was one of my customers. And my wife goes, is there anywhere we don't go? You just don't know somebody? I go, no. I go, I
Not
just,
really.
and this is before the show even started.
Yeah.
So this is, everyday life.
That's how I feel about my parents.
Yeah. It's just like, Instagram has definitely catapulted a lot.
Oh yeah.
And, and I got to thank God for that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that's where I get a lot of my hits. Twitter's been good to me. Well, whatever it's called now, X, Twitter. I still call it Twitter.
Yeah.
Facebook. I made another page because actually I wanted to keep the family separated from.
Oh yeah, smart.
From this lifestyle.
Yeah, nowadays you have.
My daughter wants to come on pretty bad, which she is. We'll do a Christmas episode with a good friend of mine. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So, but it's hard because having kids is not the easy part. There's haters.
Of course.
And one thing is I'm very protective of definitely the kids.
Oh my God, of course.
I'm very protective of that and my wife. She knows that. I'll do anything for them. And one thing, as Isabel's gonna get older, the partying is gonna happen.
Yeah.
And she's gonna be a looker too. She's either gonna break a lot of hearts or she's gonna be, I don't know what she's gonna be. That's the scary thing right now as a father having a daughter.
Yeah.
I will say that. Am I worried about drugs? Yes, because you're hearing kids at a younger age now, like you said,
of course.
the fentanyl, the the coke being cut even more than what it used to be.
Yeah.
People are overdosing at a young age. You hear 12 years olds smoking weed now. It's like ridiculous. I was always against the whole weed thing here in New Jersey. I was not for it. I was totally against it because you've seen people smoke up.
Yeah.
In the highway. Not for nothing, especially for someone like you, sober for a full year. How would you feel? Let me ask you this question. Maybe you could answer this. How would you feel if, say, cocaine was legal in New Jersey and you as clean and sober? How would you feel when you're at a stoplight and someone's taking a bump right there in front of you?
That's tough because like weed wasn't my thing.
Mhm.
Alcohol doesn't trigger me, and I have this conversation with Brandie quite a bit because like we go out and like we do stuff. We go to restaurants, we go to concerts and stuff, and but I can't, like, that stuff doesn't bother me, but I still can't watch the movie The Wolf of Wall Street. That shit triggers. You know what I mean?
Especially the very beginning of the movie.
Oh my God, the whole movie they're fucking blowing coke. It's crazy, but like
I could understand that one.
Yeah. So I think to answer your question, I think it'd be troublesome. And I think someone that struggles with weed is like their primary drug of choice, living in a state where it's legal, like when they smell that, it's probably super triggering for them.
I have no problem people smoking weed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, why?
I've seen people. The only problem I have is the kids.
Oh yeah.
The kids don't need to smell that stuff yet.
100%.
Listen, 15, 16, 17, everyone.
Sure. Yeah.
The one thing my dad smoked weed, so I'll say it.
Yeah.
But he wasn't pothead, and a lot of my friends weren't. They were recreational. Let's say that.
Yeah.
And listen, I did it myself. And am I proud of it? Not really, because I look back, I go, what did it really do besides give me the damn munchies?
Oh yeah.
Or I was really, really thirsty. Either one. Either way, it was not a good sign. I would go to TGI Fridays and go, hey, give me 5 mozzarella sticks and a mudslide.
Yeah.
Not the greatest combination, but it's Right now, it doesn't sound. If there was still a Fridays around, I wouldn't mind their mozzarella sticks. They were really good in those days.
Oh, bomb. So good.
So, but that's the thing, you know what I mean? It's hard, and I understand, man, and that's why, like, like
Yeah.
saying, like tonight's the night. It's the first night I've talked to you. Brandy's always mentioned how great of a guy, and how lucky she is for with you too. You know, what I mean, she's when she was on the show, she was telling me, how it is, and I gotta commend her a lot because a lot of people don't realize she's part of the, I guess, the rock that holds you.
100%. She's one of the big parts of that rock to hold me.
And we gotta thank her a lot too, because truly you've gone through a lot, Brandy, too. You know what I mean? And from day one together, from the relationship till this day. and when I texted her, hey, I was looking forward to today. I just wanted to make sure we were good. And she was, we're excited. And she told me about that. And I'm like, wow, 1 year. That made it more like exciting for me to have you here today. You know what I mean? And now your clothing company. That's exciting. When did you decide to start that? Like, was it recently?
I've been like flirting with this idea for years. And but like I said, I was a chronic relapser, so like I'd wind up using again, going back out, and then of course it's not really sustainable to have a sober clothing line and on and off use, you know what I mean? So and then I finally pulled the trigger on the idea, got an LLC, and at like 10 months of sobriety, and we've had it's had its ups, and I mean, actually it's had a lot of ups. It's not really had a lot of downs. We don't really have a lot of traction, but we're working on that. We're marketing.
Problem.
Yeah. So
you got me now, so I'll definitely help out.
I love it.
I'll definitely help you out, guys. On that. I love advertising because I'm doing for a friend. He's got a book coming out in October.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I designed it for 25%. They put your name on. I'm not saying do that, but I definitely help out, throwing some love to you guys.
No, we're getting help from like all different avenues. I sent out a couple free shirts to a couple big Instagram accounts. They're doing some like photo shoots. My buddy I work with, he's a music producer. He's like filming a music video tonight. He's wearing my shirt for it. Like, we got some big stuff in the mix.
I love music producers now,
dude. Awesome. So
that's something I always loved. This is why I love what I do, because you get to meet new cool people, and that's something I could say both Absolutely. Of you guys, are, what I mean? You guys are awesome. Yeah. I don't know what to say, but saying wow and holy shit is the best way I could say it, because man, you've been through a lot.
I've been through a lot. And
man, I commend you, just like I did with Kevin.
Yeah.
I could say this, how proud I am. It's funny. He actually, and when I interviewed him, if you see the interview, like I said, I released it today, but he has a hammer in the background. And that's something he said, I'll never break. Like, that's a reminder every day.
Yeah.
He has sticky notes everywhere why he should be doing what he's doing now. And dude, and that's something I commend him on. Like, I told him he really needs to write a book, because he went through so much. I said, you need to write a book. And you know what? I think you should too. You know what I mean?
Because I've thought about it a lot, actually. I think I have a pretty wild, good tale to tell.
I think you do. I mean, I would definitely be proud of buying that book, man. I definitely would say that 100%, because hearing your story tonight is really huge.
Yeah.
So, but I gotta say this, man. I can't thank you enough for coming on tonight and talking about this, man.
It was my pleasure, and I can't wait to hopefully we can do that. Hopefully we can do the episode with me and Kevin on there together. That'd be a super cool episode, and
that would be an awesome episode, because I think you guys would have a lot to say, and I'm just gonna be right in the middle.
Fire out there.
Yeah, and it'll be great. And and like I said, man, congratulations on September 20th for 1 year.
Thank you.
That's a huge accomplishment. Congratulations on Clear Minded Clothing Company.
Thank you, sir.
I wish you nothing but the best on the new line. Now, this is the good thing. Like I said to Brandie, where can everyone find you to reach out to you, talk to you about everything, or actually reach out for your clothing line, or asking how you're doing? What's the best way they can reach out to you?
Definitely, probably through Instagram would be the best bet. Instagram. We have an Instagram page. If you just look up Clear Minded Clothing Co., it'll pop up, little red icon, white lettering on it.
Underscore in between.
Yeah, underscore in between. So I can even send you that link.
Actually, I'm looking it up as we're speaking because I got it.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. There you go.
It was that quick for me.
That's right.
So definitely I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you, Luke, really, for telling your
Absolutely.
story, man. It means a lot. And I think this will benefit a lot of people.
That's with not even like just a clothing company, but like I'm an open book with everyone, man. I talk to my customers at AT&T, like I'll open up to them. They're like, I'm telling random AT&T customers, like, yeah, I used to have a $700 a day Coke habit. They're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like when you said that to me, I said, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But that's the thing though. But I mean, you're doing it though with you're proud of what you're doing.
Yeah.
You got your life back.
Yes.
You got Brandie right next to you. You got your family back.
Yes.
That's some huge accomplishments that a lot of people can't say.
Yeah. So it's a lot of accomplishments. I have some more to accomplish. I'd like to be a more prominent father to my son, work on that co-parenting situation more. I want us to take this company I want it to turn into a clothing brand, and I want it to be I want to blow it up into a just nationally known brand of wellness. That's what I want.
And I think you will, man.
Yeah.
I think your clothing line, the name and the brand, it's going to take off pretty soon. It's going to take off so quickly that I said it here first. So I get free dibs on everything. No, I'm only kidding.
Yeah, my man got dividends in the company.
But no, I wish you a lot of luck with that, guys. I'm like very proud of you, man. Like I said, Brandie, very proud of you too for being there for him. That's true love right there. And you can't ask
rock, that's for sure.
Without a doubt. And you guys are happy there. And like I said, you guys could take on anything and you guys are going to be really successful.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it a lot.
No problem. Well, guys, like I always say at the end of my show, thank Luke, thank you, Brandie, for coming on and supporting him as usual. Not as usual, but being right there for him and talking to. Thank you guys a lot. And to everyone else, all I can say is that how I end my show is nothing but love, peace, and happiness. And good night, everybody.